Hi, and welcome to Nine to Thrive, where we talk all things entrepreneurship and starting a new business. Today, I want to talk to you about motivation and staying motivated in business when you're just starting out and you've been doing it for a little while, maybe a couple months, maybe a year, and you aren't seeing the progress that you necessarily wanted to see in your business, and things may not be flowing the way that you wanted them to or envisioned them, and you're getting a little frustrated and you may want to give up. So, I'll tell you a little story about what happened to me this morning. I've been working on a blog since 2019, and one of my main goals for the blog was to have a, a pretty steady income, and I wanted to have that within 2 years of starting the blog. So, it is now 2022, and this morning I woke up to my blog getting, I think it was like 92 hits yesterday. So with blogs, what you want to see is an increase in growth, ideally over time. And I had been seeing that I had gotten up to, I think it was 250 visitors to my blog per day. And it was pretty steady between that and like 150 and 250, which honestly, for some people, for how long I had been doing the blog since 2019, that's not good either, because I was getting about maybe 4,000, 5,000 hits per month. And my goal for 2020 was to have at least 10,000 hits per month, and I've been at 5,000 for a while. So for some people, that's not even good, but for me, it was good. And this morning when I woke up, I was so just over it. Like, what am I doing this for? Why am I even continuing to do this? It doesn't seem like it's working, and it's very frustrating when things like that happen because you want to succeed. You want to have your business go to the next level, and when things are not working out the way that you want them to, it can be frustrating, and you may want to give up. And I so felt that this morning because I'm just over it. It's like, come on, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and years and years, and still not any growth. And then you will go and maybe read about someone else that's been doing maybe what you're doing, in my case, blogging, and they've been doing it for maybe a shorter amount of time than you have been, and they have tremendous growth. And it is so discouraging sometimes. I mean, you want to you're happy for them, but it's like, why is my business not taking off? So I wanted to talk to you about some things that I do when I get frustrated and I get like this and I just want to give up and be done with it. Because if you're in business, you're probably going to feel that way eventually. And you're going to have to really look at your business and determine if it's something that you want to continue. Is it worth continuing, or is it not worth continuing? And if you decide that, it's worth continuing my business and I don't want to give up right now on it, um, what can keep me motivated to keep going forward, because it can be tough. So I have written down, I actually wrote a blog about it in my From Nine to Thrive blog too, but I wrote these things down. So one of the first things that I would say is to remember your why, because we all have a reason for wanting to start a business. And what is your reason? For me, my reason is to be able to take care of my mom and freedom. So I wanted freedom from working for someone else. I don't want to work for someone else. I want to work for myself. I want to be my own boss and make my own schedule and just have say so over my own schedule in my life. So those are my two main reasons. And for me, that's enough. So you have to decide what your reason is and keep that in the forefront of your mind whenever you decide you want to give up and you don't want to do it anymore, because that's what's going to make you continue. The second thing is, I can't read what I wrote. The second thing is knowing that quitting is not an option. So if this is a business that you really want to see succeed, you have to know that quitting is not an option. And you may rest, you may take a break, but you cannot quit. You can't quit. Just in your soul, just know, like, I don't want to do this, but I can't quit. You just have to know it's something that you're going to have to come back to. Even if you take a break, you're coming back to it to finish what you started. The third thing is accountability. So if you are in a position to be in an accountability group or have an accountability partner, that's great to have, because you're going to have someone that's kind of in the same boat as you are, maybe going through some similar things that you're going through. And in that case, you guys can keep each other accountable for what you're supposed to have done. So even if you don't feel like doing something, you have someone to be accountable to, and you're going to get those things done that you have to do. So even if you're not motivated to do something, an accountability partner or accountability group is really helpful. I have started actually this month because I need accountability and I don't want to pay for a group or anything like that. So I started my own group, and if you want to join, you can do so. I figure we would just meet about once a month. So I'll put the link down below. It's in a Facebook group. So number 4 for me is set realistic goals, because I am such a dreamer. I will set my goals so high. Like, I'll start a business one day and want 1 million followers in a month. So I have to really bring myself down to reality. And I think there's nothing wrong with being a dreamer. I love that about myself, and I love dreamers. But I think that kind of frustrates me when I don't hit those crazy high goals. So for me, making my goals a little bit more realistic. So maybe I'll get up to like 150 followers a month. And if I get over that, then that's awesome. But my goal for that month will be 150. So it makes it less jarring when I don't hit 1 million followers, and it makes it easier to actually see that goal. And it's when you set a realistic goal and you hit it, or you see yourself getting there as you progress, it really gives you more motivation. So if you set a really high goal for yourself and you don't reach it, it can be demotivating slightly. So I think actually putting down realistic goals that you can hit, and celebrating those goals once you hit them, it's really motivating, and it's kind of like a success journal, which brings me to my next point. I would definitely talk to someone. So if you have a therapist, if you have a good friend that you could talk to, a family member that you can talk to about what you're going through, that would be great to do. However, you don't want to keep dumping on them. So for me, I journal. I'll write down how I feel. Like, I try to journal once a day. I don't always reach that goal, but I'll write down how I feel and what I'm going through, and it helps. So I would say, even if you don't have anyone that you can speak to regularly, get a journal and write down your feelings and why things aren't working out the way that you see them. And sometimes your inner knowing, for me, the Holy Spirit, God, speaks to me, and sometimes you just get like an inner nudge, or like an inner knowing, like, this is, you'll get an idea of what you should do. Like, if you're writing things down, sometimes you'll ask questions, and sometimes I'll ask questions and I'll get answers to them. So it's not as if I'm hearing like audible voices or anything, but it's just like I never thought of that way. So sometimes when you're writing things out, you can get new ideas and new avenues and new routes and things like that in your business. So take some time to journal too. And the last thing that I have is, don't sit on one thing, move on to the next thing. So if you, for instance, for me, like, I have my blog, and what I've started doing is writing my blog posts for the month. I do try to do like once a week and move on. I hadn't been checking my stats for a while. So when I checked this maybe for like a week, I hadn't checked for a week. And this morning when I saw them, it was so jarring. So it's some things take time. A lot of things, everything changes over time. So it'll go up and down, up and down. And just getting started on something, finishing it, and moving on to the next thing, especially when you're first starting out, because when you stall and, you know, sit and check your numbers every day and come back to them every day, and if it's not exactly where you want it to be, it can be, again, demotivating, and you want to just crank out what you can, move on to the next thing. That for me helps because I'm not sitting thinking about what is not happening the way that I want it to. I'm not focused on that. Like, I don't go back and check. I have to make myself not go back and check my stats and things like that constantly, because I will do that and stress over them and constantly just look at them and mull over them, which sometimes is good because you need to do that to know your audience. But I don't think there's a case for that to do every day, or maybe just on a regular basis, maybe like once a month or something. But just get what you have to get done and move on to the next thing. And don't, just, especially when you're first starting out, you want to do that. So yeah, those are my 6 tips. If you want to check out my blog, I'll put it below. And if you want to join the accountability group, I'll put that below as well. I will talk to you next week. Bye.